In this module, I'm going to show you how to create a simple RESTful web service using JAX-RS as the API and Jersey as the implementation. So the first thing we have to do is to add few libraries to our project. So you can see that there is a pom.xml. I'm going to open the same, and there is a section here which says pom.xml, which will show you the XML corresponding to the same. I'm going to full screen that by double clicking here, and I will add here a section called dependencies. You can type control space and then you get the list of options. You can select dependencies, double click this, and the first dependency I want to add here is about the JAX-RS API. This dependency is about JAX-RS API, which is the JSR 311 standardized by Java community process, and we need an implementation for the same. And the implementation, we are going to use Jersey. Now, instead of using Jersey, you can also use something called REST-easy from JBoss. There are a few other implementations available. Now, every time I save my file, Tomcat is trying to reload the context. For the time being, I'm going to stop the Tomcat by clicking the red button there. Now, there is one more set of dependencies that we might want to work with, which is for converting our Java objects into JSON. And as soon as I save my file, Eclipse will download the necessary jars for our project. And they will be listed under Java resources, libraries, and you can see there is a Maven dependencies, and I've got all the jars from this. So in case if I remove any of these and save the file, you will see that the jar files are also going to be removed from the list of Maven dependencies. So let's add one new Java class into SRC main Java, and let's create a new Hojo class. The package name, I'm going to give it as co.vinod.resources, and the class name is going to be called hello resource. Click finish. The class is just going to have a function that returns a string. For example, I'll call it as greet as the function name, and return hello from Vinod. In order for me to expose this particular class as a web service, we have to associate a path to that. So I'll say @path and specify that this has to be accessed from the client as /hello. Now you have to import this path. There are many ways to import. I can just move the mouse on this error. It will say import path from Java XWS RS. This is one method to do. Now you also have to expose this function as a handler for an HTTP method. Now typically when you work with RESTful web services, you would be working with get method, post, put, and delete methods. So to represent the same, this particular package has a couple of other annotations. For example, @get is an annotation that says whenever there is a GET request for this particular URL, this is the function that should respond. Now, once again, GET has to be imported, and this time instead of going with this option, you can select source, and there is an option called organize imports. On Macintosh, it's called Command-Shift-O. On Windows, it's Control-Shift-O. So if you press that, it will automatically add the import. Let me save this file. While we have got the web service ready, our Apache Tomcat has not been told that this is a web service. For this, Jersey comes with a front controller servlet, which we have to configure in our web.xml. I'm going to open src, main, web app, webinf, and web.xml. Now, the same thing you can also do in Eclipse by pressing Ctrl-Shift-R. On Mac, it is Command-Shift-R. And then you type here web.xml, and you can see it comes from my project as well as from Apache. So I want from my project, I select the same thing. If you are seeing this in a GUI style here, there is a source, you click the source. and now you have this web.xml. Now the display name and welcome file list are of no use in our project, so I can delete that and press Command Shift F or Control Shift F on Windows to format the same. Let's make an entry for the front controller servlet provided by Jersey. I'm going to press Control Space and start typing servlet. Select the servlet option here, and servlet has to have minimum servlet name. I give it as Jersey and a servlet class. Now this class is provided by Jersey, and you have to give the fully qualified class name like this. We want Tomcat to create an instance of this servlet when the Tomcat boots. So to do so, we have to add load on startup and give it a number, and this number is a relative number with other servlets. There's one more thing that you have to do. You have to create an init param with a param name of com.sun.jersey.config.property.packages, and the value for this is the list of packages where your web services are available. So when this particular front controller is instantiated and loaded into the Tomcat container, it will read the value for this particular param name and scans all the web services from that packages. In our case, we named the package as core.vinod.resources. So I have to give the param value as core.vinod.resources. Now, in case if you have different packages consisting of web services and other related artifacts, you can give space delimited list of packages. The last part of this particular configuration is to map a URL pattern to this particular servlet. So to do so, I have to say servlet mapping, and the name of the servlet to which we want to map is Jersey, and the pattern that we want to give is /API/star. I save this file, close it, I go to the servers and start the server once again. Now if you read the logs here, you can see that it says scanning for root resource and provider classes in packages core.vinod.resources, and it has also found one hello resource in the same package. When the server is running, if I go back to the browser and then at the end of this, if I type API/hello and press enter, you can see we get the hello message from Vinod.